Hi, my name is Grant Kramer, and I'm a professor emeritus at the University of Nevada, Reno. Today is March 15th. The rains have stopped for a few days, maybe for a few days longer, I hope, and we can now safely prune. We don't want to prune when the rains are going because it'll spread disease. But before we get started, let's refresh our memory on what our goals are here. This is the fourth year of trying to train a goblet-shaped vine. And we should have, if we did everything perfectly in the previous seasons, we should have 4 canes to prune to provide 8 canes in the future for this coming summer. But we have vines now that are at different stages, some that are ahead and some that are behind. But let's keep this in mind as to what we're trying to create. Let's look at our first vine here. This is R64, our most mature vine and most developed vine. And we can see that the buds are breaking quite readily here, making it easy to determine what's living and what's not. So we have some more mature spurs, second year spurs, and now even third year spurs that we want to continue to develop and make more spurs. Ideally, we would have more spurs coming out in this area. So eventually in the future, we'll probably try to encourage it spreading out a little bit more uniformly. But this is what we have. And we want to take each new cane here and take it to 2 buds. So 2 buds will allow 2 shoots to come out and develop spurs for next year. So currently we have 4 spurs. We have 1 here from last year, 1 from before, and there are 2 shoots that are coming off those 2 spurs. And let me clarify something. I just said shoots. What I meant to say was canes, because canes are woody. They were shoots the previous year, and by the end of the season, when they become woody, they become canes. So shoots and canes I intertwine a lot, but if I'm talking about something that's new for this season, that's a shoot, it's green. If it's from last season and it's woody, it's a cane. We have 1 spur that's coming off with a spur here and a spur here. And again, 2 shoots coming off. So we had 8 canes here. We're going to go to 16 this year by pruning each of these down to 2 buds right here at an angle. Okay, nice green phloem inside that cut. That'll be a nice vine here. So if we take it from a side view here, you can actually see this bud already popping out pretty good, and the second one. All right, there's a little bit of a leftovers here from a tendril. I'll try to clean that off in a second here when I can put my phone down. So we'll do the same sort of practice with each one of these, and I'll show you the final picture. Okay, so here's the final picture. We can see, in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spurs, because I removed one that was really tight right in here. It was getting too crowded, and I hope that eventually I'm going to develop something off of this way in the future. One has to just be patient and go with what you're given. And you can see 2 buds coming off. In some cases the buds are still dormant, and they will come out in a little while. That's it for vine R64. This is vine R42, and it's a much weaker vine in contrast to the previous vine R64. We can see that we have 2 shoots coming off here, which are strong, and the old shoot has died back, so it's very weak and not doing very well. So in this case, we really only have 2 spurs that we're going to develop. This vine is quite behind the other one, and we'll prune it to 2 buds. Here's our primary bud. There's a base bud right below it over here. So we'll cut right here, like So hopefully, again, I'm in focus here. And we'll do the same thing on this side. We have primary bud, a base bud. There's the first bud, there's our second bud. And we'll prune right here. And now we have our two spurs. And this top is dead, so I'm just going to remove it. And that's what we'll be left with. And this is our final product right here. So just one more comment. I've upgraded my microphone system with a new microphone that has sound suppression in it to keep down the road noise and the airplanes that are going around. So hopefully this is working and we'll have less disruptions of car noise and truck noise and airplane noise during these next sessions. So this is R31. It's a little bit more developed than the R42 that we just looked at. And we can see two good shoots coming off from last year. One good one here, and one not so good one here. So we're going to try to prune to these 4 and create 8 shoots for this year. This bud is not so clear. This bud is definitely swelling. I'm going to be careful. This second bud here is looking pretty bad. So this vine is not looking real good on this particular cane. And I'm going to be cautious and prune up high here, again at an angle. The reason we do an angle is so that, and if it rains, the water falls here. It doesn't sit on top of this and encourage fungal infection. It'll spill off and dry out more readily. Again, we have a bud here, a second bud here. So I'm going to take it right here. And then, as I said, we have this nice one here. We can see a bud down here, which is probably a primary, and a second one here. But again, I'm going to do a cautious on this vine because it's not looking as healthy. And I'm just going to take it off where I think it's going to be good. Now, I don't really want this. Well, actually, it's not too bad. So let's come back to that. I always like to make the hard decisions later. So I'll go in here first, and I'll take out here. We have 1, 2. I'm going to be cautious on this vine. I don't like the weakness of some of these buds. I want to see how strong they come. Here we have a basal bud, primary bud, secondary bud. Pretty sure that one's swelling. It looks pretty good. So we'll take this one off here. And then it's just a question of this one. Nothing much down here. This is really weak. I'm going to take it off, but I'm going to have the options to prune this again later in the season and make better determinations of how the shoots are growing off of this. So this one's not really complete. I've kind of left this one hanging. We'll come back to it later in the season, depending on how the shoots grow out and the strength of them. Like, I don't like this weak one. It may not provide any strong shoots here, and I may just choose to remove this and leave the stronger ones, and then continue to build from year to year until we get more of a goblet shape that we want. So this is L51, and we're going to look at, this was a vine that nearly died. It nearly got broken off, and I had to reattach it. And it's doing quite well now. You can see that the shoots coming off of this are quite strong. So we've got some very long shoots here. 1, 2, 3. And then we've got this guy hanging. It looked like a shoot, but it's really only 3 of them that are here. This one guy here is coming off of this long cane here. So we just need to prune this to these 3. Very simple, to 2 buds, and let it continue to develop over the years. And there we have it, down to 3 spurs. Next year we'll have 6, and we'll keep adding to it. Okay, now that I've demonstrated those prunings for those 4 vines, we're going to get to the rest of the vineyard and trim this baby up.
Okay, don't forget the sucker while you're pruning. Little offshoots are going to come out, little suckers, and it's easy right now to just knock them off like that.
Ta-da, that's it. And here's the finished product. Now for the left vineyard. This is what the vineyard looks like before pruning. And this is what the left vineyard looks like after being pruned. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like my YouTube channel if you like this video, and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, where you'll find other interesting videos on plant physiology, viticulture, and enology. Hopefully the sounds were better in this one with my new microphone. There's a plane going overhead right now. I don't know how loud it's coming through, but we're going to find out. Have a great day.